Hello and welcome to another video by the Bearded Tech Guy. In this video I will be doing a 1-month review of the Litter Robot 3 Connect. Before I get started, I'd like to take a note that if you are interested in purchasing a litter robot, please check out my links in the description below. There is a link down there that you can use that will help you save $25 on the purchase of a new Litter Robot 3. This video will go over my experiences with the Litter Robot 3 over the course of the last month or so. I will cover the pros and cons that I've been experiencing so far with it, and any tips and tricks that I've learned so far as well. I will also go over my experiences using the Smart app, as well as how I feel about using the app itself. During the video, I will also be showing a clean cycle of the Litter Robot, as well as one of the first times my cat actually saw it running. Over the last month or so, I've had a pretty good experience with the Litter Robot. My cat took to it decently well over the course of a few days. To help her transition, I put the new Litter Robot, which was full of litter and ready to go, next to her soon-to-be old litter box for a day or two. I then added a little bit of the litter from her old litter box to the new litter box. After a few days, I finally emptied her old litter box and blocked off the door with the litter container that I had, while still leaving it next to the Litter Robot. I then physically introduced her to the new litter by putting a few treats on the stairs and showing her that the litter was inside. After which, she took about a day to finally decide to use the Litter Robot after checking it out continuously multiple times. I would like to note that I left the Litter Robot unplugged for this, as I did not want it to go off when she was around it before getting used to it. After a few days of her using the new litter box, I removed the old one from the area to only leave the Litter Robot. After a few weeks of her successful use of the Litter Robot, I went ahead and plugged it in. Please keep in mind that what worked for me and my cat may not work for you. There are a lot of different ways to help making the transition as least impacting on your cat as possible, and remember that all cats are in fact different. The best thing you can do with any transition for a cat is to take it slow and not force it. With actually using the Litter Robot, everything has gone rather well. I really didn't have a good grasp on how nice it would be not having to worry about scooping the litter box and knowing that my cat would always have a clean box to use, but once getting it, I truly can appreciate just how nice that is to actually have. While the price of the Litter Robot is steep, I personally find it very worthwhile, and it would probably be even more beneficial in a multi-cat home. My litter use has also dropped significantly. At the current rate I've been seeing, I would say that the life of a 40-pound litter tub is probably going to double or more. Another great thing about the Litter Robot is that there really is no smell. I've moved it recently into our small laundry room over to a corner that we had open, and honestly, going into that room, I can't even tell there's a litter box in there. It's pretty wonderful. With the old litter box, it would sit for a day, sometimes two if I didn't get to it in time, and even in the basement you could tell that there was a litter box down there, so the Litter Robot definitely does a good job at eliminating odors. Moving on to the Smart app functionality of the Litter Robot 3 Connect, I have to say I'm really glad I decided to get that option. While I did have some trouble getting the app set up at first, outside of the initial setup, having the app is a very big help. The biggest benefit is getting notifications when the Litter Robot empties itself, so that I know it's still operating on its own, followed closely by being notified when it's time to empty it. It's also nice knowing that my cat is using the litter box regularly and there aren't any bathroom issues going on. Something I noticed within the first couple uses is that I believe I set the timer too quickly. It was originally set to 3 minutes. I wanted to try to get the smell out as soon as possible, but as you can see, I'm getting a lot of litter stuck in the grate, as well as it kind of streaking along the side. I do believe it's probably because of the timing. I'm not giving enough time to my litter to clump, so I'm going to clean everything out and then I'm probably going to set it to the longest amount of time, which is I believe 15 minutes, and see if that helps. If not, I might try to change the litter, but hopefully that's one of my only major issues with this litter box. Another thing to note within the litter box that I have not appreciated too much is when the bin actually gets full. A lot of times what's happening is because of the way the litter drops in, it's getting filled onto the left side, and there's actually some more room within the bag. So what I've been doing so far is when the Litter Robot announces that it's full, I actually open the drawer, kind of shake it around, and it actually gives me a couple more days of use out of the bag. So while it is kind of annoying to have to do that, and I wish there was a way for them to have made it so that the bag would fill more fully before announcing it was full, maybe by putting some kind of ramp that slopes in to push things around. That is a solution that I found works. Also, for the first few weeks, I was putting my spare bags in the front here because they do fit. However, I was finding that the bags themselves, because they were sitting there, smelled like cat litter, and to me, I didn't really like it, so I'm not storing them in there anymore. It is kind of wasted storage space now. If there was a way for them to have added that space in as usable litter storage, well, used litter storage, then that would have been a nice feature to add as well. And then another annoyance for me is the litter that gets stuck in here. It is usually clean, so I would prefer to reuse it and toss it into the litter box. However, it's pretty difficult to really get it to be able to slide all the way in. It would be nice if there was a little notch there in the end that you could use to kind of pour everything back in to reuse your clean litter that just happens to get tracked out. So if they ever come out with a new version, those are some features I would like to see. The app itself is pretty nice. You get notifications, as you can see, that let you know when things happen with your litter box. It also does appear that the app supports multiple litter boxes, which is a nice feature. Some of the other smart pet devices that I use do not support multiples of themselves, which is a little weird and not helpful in a multi-pet home. The status page gives you a quick heads up about the overall usage of your litter box and how filled it is. Moving on to history, you're going to be able to see all the events for, I believe, a very long time. The history page allows you to see events that happened in the past, and you can actually click on those events to get a more thorough understanding of what those events mean. Moving on to insights, you can take a look at past usage, and this will show you any trends that happen so that you can detect if there's any issues going on with your pet. One thing I do wish that this app showed was maybe times of when they happened. If you go and you look back, you kind of only see that you only had a certain number of events occur, so that's a bit disappointing there. Also, too, there's no way to actually remove events. So, for example, if you clean your litter box and you unplug it, it's going to self-cycle even though your cat didn't go. So that's going to skew a lot of what you see in it. And then the remote section is still the same. There's no new features there. The one thing that I wish it had was the ability to control the nightlight. There is only one setting that is auto or off. It'd be nice to set a time frame where my litter box is. The lighting's not the best, so it kind of kicks on more often than it probably needs to during the day. So if I could set a time frame of when it should go on and off, that would be really helpful as well. The last thing I'd like to touch on with the app is what happens if you end up wanting to change your wireless SSID for your litter box. For me, I moved, and because of the move, I decided to redo a lot of my networking, and that included setting up a brand new SSID for a lot of my IoT devices. So in order to do that, you're going to first open your app, go to the Remote Settings tab, and click on Delete My Litter Robot. After which, you're going to completely close the Litter Robot app, and then reset your Litter Robot by unplugging it from the base while the unit is powered on. Then you're going to wait 15 seconds, plug it back in, and allow it to cycle until the blue ready status lights up. At which point, you will open up the app and follow the initial litter box setup. To add the Litter Robot to the app, you're going to log in. You'll actually use your credentials for when you ordered the Litter Robot. You'll then click on Add Another Litter Robot, and then click on Next. Click on Next again. You'll then want to enable Wi-Fi. To do so, press and hold the Cycle and Empty button on your litter robot, the power button will turn white and then blue after 3 seconds. You will release the cycle and empty buttons at the same time when the power button light turns blue. You'll then press next in the app. When ready, you'll click on Ready to Scan. For this, you'll either scan the QR code on the back of your litter robot or the QR code that is on the box. I do highly recommend saving the QR code from the box, so that way if you need to re-edit for any reason, you can easily add it and scan the barcode without having to move your litter box around, as unfortunately you cannot manually add the code. Once scanned, you'll get a notification saying it was successful and click on Next, at which point you'll be able to name your litter robot. For me, I called it Litterbot 6000. At this point, you're going to connect your phone to the litter robot's hotspot. To do so, you'll have to open your Wi-Fi settings. You will connect to the wireless network of the litter robot, which will just be litter robot, and the password is never scoop. So once you connect, you'll probably get a pop-up saying no internet connection. Do you want to continue or not? You'll want to say yes, keep connection, and then go back to the app, at which point you'll click on Next, and the phone will begin communicating with your litter robot. Then you'll get a pop-up screen within the app asking you which wireless network to connect to. Select the one you desire to use and enter in the password. After which, the phone will then communicate again with the litter box to send all Wi-Fi credentials to it, and then the litter box will connect to your wireless network, and there will be some communications between the phone as well as the phone, cloud, and litter box to make sure everything's set up properly. Once connected, you'll get a congratulatory screen saying you did it, and then you can click on Done, which will then bring you back into the app for the actual litter robot itself. Now, the one thing for me that I really liked and was surprised about is the fact that all of your settings and history are actually saved. So when you go in to delete your litter box out of your app, it could be a little concerning. There's no notification, there's nothing anywhere that says, hey, your data is going to be saved. You're just kind of deleting it. So for me, I was a little annoyed thinking that I was going to lose everything for the last month or so when I changed it. But luckily, when I re-added it, all my history and insights and even my settings were reapplied to my litter box. So while the process to change SSID is a little clunky and doesn't include all the information I would have hoped it would have, I'm glad that they included the thought process to make sure that all my settings would not be lost. That's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Positive feedback helps encourage me to keep making new content that you see here. Please also make sure to subscribe to the channel for all new videos coming out soon. Thank you very much.